Even though we're recording this, if there's something that you don't want in there, I can always go back and change it out, edit it out. Okay, so we're live now.
No.
So I'm gonna begin. Give me just a second, and then I'll save my name and then everything, so that way it's a clean edit. Hey guys, Rogue Nation here with you today, and we're doing a story about this young lady here, Gloria, being abused at a hospital and the cover up that happened because of it. So, without much to do in the front end, I'm going to hand it off to Gloria. She's going to tell us her story, and then, as always, I'll have some questions. We've got documents that'll be at the end of the video, as always. And then when we premiere this video, I'll be in the side chat, and maybe Gloria will be as well to answer any of your folks' questions. So, Gloria, you want to introduce yourself, and you don't have to use your last
Hi.
name, obviously, but just
Hi.
introduce yourself and go over your story.
No problem. How are you guys? I was actually in the process of moving to Florida from Texas, and I've actually started to progress to try to get on my feet in the state that actually saw me born, which was Florida. That's originally where I'm from. I actually went to through a tough time down there with someone that I was dealing with, and it wasn't working out for me. I ended up having to go to a medical facility, in which this facility's name was Lake Nona Medical Center. And at this point, I was held for 24 hours at Lake Nona Medical Center. And from Lake Nona, I was transferred over to Central Florida Behavior, in which manner I was transferred over the next day. And within about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, I went up to the front desk, and I encountered an, an Asian person, an Asian nurse with the nurse the nurse uniform and with everything. And I simply went up to the desk and I told them, "Hi, my name is Gloria. I am trying to get a hold of some medication. Can you tell me where I'm able to get those?" And he simply screamed at me at the top of his lungs, "I'm not your nurse." And to which point I told him, "You don't have to scream at me. There's no reason for you to talk to me this way." He screamed at me again, to which point, to my right and his left, there was a black male that spoke to me and said, "We're going to have fun with you today." At which point I said, "Oh, yeah, let's see how that turns out for you." At this point, I am trying to get everybody's names. At this point, I am pretty freaked out at the way that I've been approached and dealt with. I have been trying to get medications and got screamed at, along with everybody being disrespectful. At this point, they are denying me their names. They're denying me any kind of medication related situation, to which I now encounter a tech in the lobby for the patients, and I am trying to get her to lend me a pen. At which point she gives me the pen, and I'm trying to get a hold of the supervisor. I'm trying to get everybody's names, which have been disrespectful to me and screamed at me. At this point, I'm in a psychiatric facility, but I am feeling as though my life is in danger, and this is not a good facility to be in. And I have gone to get the pen from the woman. She was very kind, very nice to me. And I try to go back to the nurses station a second time to write down their names. They are denying their names. They're not identifying of who they are. They're being very rude, very disrespectful, very closed, as to the point of just not giving out any information, and getting to the point of, I don't need to be here, although I've been set to be here because of another facility that I was previously at. Once she gives me the pen and I go back to the nurse's station, um, they tell me there's not a supervisor that I can actually talk to. There's not anyone that I can reach, and there is no one that I can get a hold of, and they're not giving me their names. Um, Come to find out, I actually hear one of the employees from around me tell me his name is Brian. So, from me knowing his name is Brian, I actually write it down on a piece of paper, but I'm trying to write it because the pen isn't writing. At this point, the pen isn't writing from the tech that gave me the pen that was at the lobby. So, I had to put it on the paper with no ink to write his name down. I attempt to go back to the tech that actually gave me the pen. I give it back to her, and later on, within about 5 minutes, I go back to try to get the pen from her, and Brian comes around and tells me she doesn't need an effing pen. To which point, in this manner, that I've already been mistreated, yelled at, disrespected, in a situation that I cannot control. My life seems to be spinning where I don't want it to be. Um, I get I He comes around and tells her I don't need an effing pen, and I end up getting the pen from her. To which point they follow me and they throw me on the ground, and my hair is stumped on. To which point now I'm being assaulted, on top of being screamed at and yelled at and disrespected. I haven't been in this hospital for maybe less than 2 hours, and all of these events are already encountering. Um, I am severely in doubt of what's really happening in my mind, because I'm like, this isn't happening. This doesn't happen in this country. This is not the country that I was born into. And from my hair being stumped on and being disrespected, I get up to try to defend myself at this point, because I feel like I've had 3 things already encountered: being denied medication, being screamed at, being disrespected, the employees denying me their names. To which now I'm on the floor and my hair is stumped on, and Brian tells me, I don't give a fuck about your hair. And I get up and I try to defend myself, and somebody that is acting as a patient at the lobby is whistling at this man from behind me. So Brian turns around and we start encountering, physical altercation. To which at this point, I get grabbed from 3 other employees from behind, and I get picked up in the air and punched in the mouth. I had my mask on from Amazon, which I used to work for, and I no longer work for them, but my mask was full of blood. I'm in state of shock. My tooth is still loose. I have the pictures, records, and information from the hospital. After I was punched in the mouth, I was severely in shock. I was traumatized. I just lost everything that I believed in this country to be correct. I've never encountered anything like this. From after actually getting picked up in the air and punched in the mouth, I was put down, and after I was put down, there is a nurse, a white male nurse, that came from behind me, grabbed me in a chokehold, threw me backwards to where I fell on top of him, looking at the sky. My rear end was touching his genital area, to which point my throat was completely shut. I was not able to breathe. I have injuries which are called a sternocleidomastoid injury in my neck, which is it's a muscle that connects to your brain. I have other injuries that they've caused to my brain, and it's caused me other issues, but that's not going to be discussed right now. It's hard for me to think at times. It's hard for me to focus at times because of the fact of everything that's happened to me. And I just want everybody to come forward. I just need somebody to give me the support, and let's put this together. After me being choked and the nurse choking me, I'm sorry to get off subject. After the nurse choked me and I was able to break from his grip, I actually extended my arms out, and I did it in such a manner that his weight, along with my weight, he couldn't control. So he couldn't control his weight with my weight. Um, I was picked up after that. I got up off the floor. I wasn't picked up. I'm sorry. I got up off the floor and I had Brian, which had already punched me in the mouth, right in front of me, witnessing the situation. He decided not to interfere. He decided not to act. He decided not to break this up. He just decided to watch someone fall to their death, in which point I was speechless. Um, After me getting up off the ground and Brian grabbing me from my arm in such forced manner on my left arm that I have arterial injuries, painful injuries on my left arm from being gripped in such a manner. I had his fingers on my left arm for many, many, many months. I was pulled to seclusion forcibly, and when I told him that he was hurting my arm, he said, "I don't give a fuck about your arm." So he took me over to seclusion, at which point I was taken back there. He was let back there, which should have been not accepted, not allowed. So many broken regulations, rules, and policies along this situation that it's severe. I get to seclusion and they put a 300-pound man at my door, to which at this point I'm asking for medical attention. I'm asking for someone to help me because I've been assaulted and I am severely traumatized that this is even happening. My mouth is bleeding and I'm in state of panic. Um, at this point, I am making this man get me out of this room. I am riling myself up on purpose because of the abuse and the injuries that I've sustained from these employees, from this hospital. Everybody seems to be not caring. They don't care. It doesn't matter to anyone what somebody's encountering. And this is something that can happen to your daughter, to your son, to your family members. This is something that is needed to be talked about because it's not something that a lot of people talk about. But I simply went to this hospital looking for the help, looking for the assistance that I could be able to get on my feet and be in a state that I was not with anyone. I didn't have anyone in the States. So back to after seclusion. After seclusion, I was actually with the 300-pound guy. I started praying for him and I told him, "Man, please let me out of here. I pray for your wife. I pray for your kids." You can see the simple, like his eyes, he just wanted to cry, but there was nothing that he could do. It's like he was tied up in something that there was nothing that he could do about it. And after 15 minutes, he told me, "If you sit still for 15 minutes, I'll let you out." So within those 15 minutes, Brian is inside of the seclusion room with me, along with the supervisor that actually comes up after me being denied. The supervisor that they denied me and told me that there was not a supervisor, there was no one that can come, that there was nobody that I can complain to. The supervisor appeared with 2 shots, to which I wasn't told what they were or why I was given these shots. Brian was back in seclusion with me. The supervisor's name is Florinda David, which she is currently under investigation at this point with the Department of Health. I was forced to put my pants down with Brian in seclusion with me, against my will, against my consent, against everything that I believed in. I cannot trust anyone in this country for this not to happen to me again. So after being forced to put my pants down and these medications that were given to me without them telling me what they were, or even if I was allergic to these medications, after 15 minutes, I believe they were waiting for 15 minutes to put me to sleep because these medications were so strong that I was not able to function. After I kept myself riled up in seclusion, within the time frame that they told me that they would let me out, I kept myself awake. After seclusion, I actually got out and was able to get to a patient's phone. A patient's phone, I got out of seclusion. I turned right after seclusion and I made another right and there was a patient's phone sitting to my left. I got a hold of the patient's phone and I called 911 and I said, "I've been assaulted by a hospital employee. Please help me." Click. And the phone dies. The phone dies, to which I turn around and there's a female nurse behind me. And she said, "You can't call the police." At this point, I'm telling her, "Well, you just hung up on them. Let's see how this works out for you." So the police call back. She picked it handled. Got it handled. We got it screaming in the backyard, in the back. "I've been assaulted. Somebody please come help me. Get me out of here," to where this dispatcher, I would love to kiss her feet if possible. She dispatched the police. They came to help me, at which the paramedics also showed up and they started questioning the employees at the hospital. They started questioning everybody. Um, I was put inside of the ambulance, to which I told the paramedics I've been assaulted by hospital employees, and they said, "Yes, we're going to put that on record." To my belief, these paramedics have already encountered this situation with this hospital. They've encountered abuse with other patients. They've encountered all of these horrific scenes and traumatizing events that nobody wants to come through. Nobody wants to encounter in their life. Nobody wants to deal with when you put your loved one in a hospital. You're hoping that these people are going to take care of them because it's something that you're not able to deal with in a situation that nobody can handle, on top of going to a hospital looking for help and getting abused by the same very people that are supposed to protect your loved ones. I'm asking everybody in the country, everybody that is watching this live stream, please come forward. I have found um, I have found the doctor under investigation as well. He is under investigation, and he has violated the standard of care. Um, I I don't know what kind of conspiracy this could be. I'm not sure how many people are entangled to this, but this is a horrific situation that I encountered, and this is not something that I would like anybody else to encounter. So, if with all of this said, I will send this back to Major Lee Awesome, and thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Gloria. Yeah, that's I already knew the story. We've been talking a little bit back and forth. We've got some documents, we've got some photos of you, and the injuries that you suffered while you were there. Um, Now, there's some other stuff I wanted to go over, and that is the officer. I believe his name's Collins. He had, what was it, filled out an affidavit or made some kind of on the record statement that you had fallen. And is that correct what I'm saying?
I I don't believe I don't believe it was Detective Collins, but Detective Collins is also been. I've done my own research, and he is also an attorney, which is a conflict of interest in this point. Um, he also has other people working with him with the courts, which I'm not going to get into right now. But if you're willing to ask me any questions about it, I'm willing to listen. Um,
Yeah,
go for it.
I just wanted to. So there was an officer that made the statement that you had fallen, but
Correct.
this officer wasn't there to witness any of this. So he basically
Correct.
perjured himself.
Correct.
Okay. Do we know that all?
Yeah, I was told by the sheriff's office that I did have an officer testify on record that I fell, and conspiracy to commit perjury is very, it's a serious offense.
Okay. It's the sheriff's office.
I, I'm sorry.
That's Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, sir. Um, from that being said, I actually got my case over to the state of Florida, in which I sent them an extension of time form to file an extension 2 weeks prior to my statute of limitations expiring. And this woman by the name of Kimberly Andre told me that she would investigate and she would do everything possible and in her hands to help me figure this case out. I gave her every scene, every possible event, every angle of every which way that she could actually look at this video, because actually the video was denied at the beginning with Detective Blazina. Detective Blazina previously um, to Detective Collins actually took the case, and she was denied with a subpoena in her hands to go to this hospital and get the video, at which point the hospital denied her the video, and she walked out of the hospital like a dog with his tail between his legs. And the video, I believe, was denied because the video was not corrupted. The video had not been tampered with. And I hold Detective Blazina accountable for everything that has happened due to the fact that I've been traumatized with everything, along with the video being corrupted and being tampered with, along with all of the injuries. This is a severe slap in my face with the judicial system. So I'll hand it over back to you, Michael.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't realize that this stuff happens because it doesn't happen to them, right? So we all have what's known as normalcy bias, in which we think that if something hasn't happened to us, it never will, or if it does happen to us, it won't be as bad as people say it. And you could see an example of normalcy bias with the Katrina hurricane in New Orleans. A lot of people that lived in New Orleans just said, well, we've never been hit with a hurricane that bad before, so I don't think it's going to hit us.
Yeah,
And if it does hit us, we don't think it'll be that bad. And, you had thousands dead because of normalcy bias. They didn't
correct.
realize, what their own mind was thinking. But this stuff does happen. Um, I've done stories before where a gentleman was almost killed in the hospital. And so this kind of stuff does happen. It's you could see it in the lawsuits, the medical malpractice lawsuits. You've got doctors that are on drugs. You've got doctors that are running pill mills. I mean, people are people. It doesn't matter what school they went to and what education they got. And people are people. If a doctor's got um, a gambling problem and he's down on his luck, he might start a pill mill. Or if a doctor's an alcoholic, he might come in and try to perform a surgery drunk. Or like Steve
Correct.
did.
Speaking of the doctor, the when I actually got to seeing the doctor, he was in a rush to get me out of the room. He was not he was not aware of any of my history. He didn't care to read any of my history. He didn't know what medications I was allergic to. He didn't have any kind of knowledge of anything in my background. It was less than 15 minutes, and he was in a rush to get me out of the room, telling the other tech, the other nurse, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, bring me the next one, bring me the next one, hurry up. We've got to get the next one. So I was not properly diagnosed or properly treated or any kind of just anything related to my care. This is just a money business. and
And you,
that is pretty much what we are encountering.
and you saw the doctor after all the injuries, right? After you were hit in the face.
No, this was before. I saw the doctor before all of this encountered, but the nurse did talk to him and told him what was happening to me after I was punched. I ended up going to Dr. Phillips Hospital, to which they confirmed that I had dental injuries. I needed to see a dentist, and within the same time frame of me being at Dr. Phillips Hospital, the next day I was sent to Central Florida Behavior again, against my will, not wanting to be in this hospital because they have a crucial 72-hour hold on these patients. So for some reason, I believe my records had to show that I was in that hospital for 72 hours, regardless of what the case might have been. These paramedics took me back to that hospital, at which point I told the nurse, I don't want to be here. You guys have abused me. The nurse got on the phone and called the doctor and said she doesn't want to be here because she was punched in the mouth. And the doctor said, let her go, let her go, let her go. To which now he's under investigation and he has chosen to get a lawyer. So it's pretty intensive stuff.
It is. It is. All right. Well, we have the whole story. We've got the documents that we're going to play or put on the screen right after. And we will include, obviously, the contact information for Orange County and the Central Florida Behavioral um, Hospital. Um, so that way we can find out what's going on there. Maybe make a trip down there ourselves and see if there's any comment that they want to give to me. So we'll see how that goes. But it'll probably be a couple of days, at least maybe a week, to get this up if I decide to go down to the hospital myself. Um, but yeah, other than that, I want to thank you, Gloria, for having the strength to tell the story, because a lot of times people just take it. They just, well, that's life. That's the hand I was dealt. So I'm gonna go ahead and go about my
Yeah.
life, keep quiet, and
And keeping quiet doesn't get us anywhere. So, speaking of something with abuse, especially with your loved ones, where you have put them in hands of other people to deal with them in an appropriate manner because someone is not able to take care of them at this point in their life, which is so critical. And simply because I went up to the front desk asking for medications and screamed that rudely because this person was not my nurse. I also have another thing to add too. One of the the burial chief, which was actually previously on my case, his name is Christopher Smith. I tried to explain to him what was happening, and this is with the Ninth Judicial Circuit Court, and I tried to explain to him about everything that happened. Christopher Smith called me after 3 weeks of me trying to get a hold of him with the courts, and he told me, the hospital said you fell. I don't care what you have to say. I don't have anything else to say to you. The hospital said you fell, and that's all there's to it. Um, there has also been people with the records department. The records department also has sent out emails that I have regarding my video being sent out to via flash drive. My video was sent via, whichever way, via flash drive. It's ready to be picked up at the sheriff's office. Your video is ready. None of this is accurate. None of this happened. The video was denied, and I haven't been able to get a hold of that video because it was confidential and exempt. I have all of those records as well. It's my God-given right to get a hold of that video. It's my God-given, my God-given right to attain video evidence from my own records, and this is just something that needs to stop. These laws need to, they need to change. Um, Everybody that we have at the White House, people, these laws just need to change. We need to come together and put this together, because if we as individuals don't put ourselves in a group, this is not going to make a difference. It's not going to matter, and your loved ones could pretty much be killed in a hospital, you know, in the future, in the near future. Um, I also have, other evidence. I have pictures, records, information, you name it. I have everything. Um, I am just hoping that you guys can just come forward and let's put this to rest, guys. We don't need to let our loved ones go into a facility that will harm these loved ones that you guys so much care for and so much have love for. So that's
Okay,
pretty much what I have to say.
let me ask this: you tried to file criminal charges against the folks that attacked you, and the state attorney said no, you fell, and that's the end of it.
The state attorney doesn't have, what I was told, the burden of proof beyond reasonable doubt. So everything that I'm telling her and all of the scenes and that I've described with the punching and being choked, they are not on video. They don't show this on video, although the hospital for Dr. Phillips shows that I have a dental issue, that I was punched and that I needed to be seen. It doesn't show me being choked. Um, None of that. It doesn't show anything. And the state attorney has told me that she believes me, that there is nothing else she can do. She believes me, and I have tried every which way, form, and fashion to get this to be known. These people are dealing with a huge cover up. It's a huge conspiracy connected from the sheriff's department to the courts, connected to the employees at the hospital. This is huge, guys. So I'm not sure how many people are connected to this, but I've gotten to the point of contacting the FBI and the White House, to which point I haven't got a response from anyone. My case is just being thrown to the side and on the back burner. This is really frustrating. This is not United States of America. This is I'm not going to say what it is, but this is not United States of America of what it was previously to when I was born. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you have any questions, just let me know what do you have to add on to, or just let me know what else you need me to answer. I mean, I'll be happy.
yeah, no, I think we've covered most of it. Um, if some of my subscribers have questions, we'll see that in the live chat when we, put the video out, or they'll ask it in the comments section. I'm sure you know how YouTube works. They got comments under a video, so um, you
Correct.
could, yeah, you could be free. Feel free to answer those if you'd like, or like I said, once we
Yeah.
go live, we'll have that live chat going. I, of course, will be in it. If you're more than welcome to come and watch the video and leave any uh, comments, or answer any questions that you feel like you need to or want to. Um, but
And
yeah,
another thing I wanted to add on to, my neck injury is connected to my brain, which is causing me migraines and severe headaches. There's times that I can't sleep. There's times that I have severe flashbacks. There's times that I have an anxiety attack or a panic attack. It just depends on everything, but I have everybody's image engraved in my brain as if it happened yesterday. I haven't forgot about anything they did to me. I haven't, and I won't forget. It's like the 9/11, when the towers fell. I was sitting in my middle school class, sitting in PE, in physical education, and somebody tapped me on my shoulder, And this happened in 2001. Here we are in 2023, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. I don't forget these kind of situations, especially, me finding out a lot of situations with, recently I just found out my family and twisted roles that I have had in my family recently, um, ranging from who my mother was to who my sister really is. And I can't deal with that situation. I can't deal with trying to express myself appropriately to try to figure out one situation because I can't step foot in a hospital not knowing what these individuals are capable of. I can't fathom the fact of sitting in a corner and knowing that my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter to this country. My life doesn't matter to law enforcement, anybody in the judicial system, in the court system. It doesn't seem like it matters to anyone because of the actions that these people have taken and how hard they have fought to take care of the people at the hospital, the employees. I was told by the sheriff's department, which was leaked information also. Brian's last name is Brian Nelson. His last name is Nelson. This was leaked information from Orange County Sheriff's Office, which should have not been leaked out there. His information is on record with the police department. His information is out there, but they are willing to not fight to get justice for patients that just simply are looking for assistance and trying to stabilize themselves from a controlling, depressing situation that they've been a hold of to get to another hospital for these catastrophic situations to experience. It's just, it makes me want to cry, guys. I'm not crying now because they're not going to see my tears. And they're not going to see me cry. They're not. And I've gotten past the point of crying because crying doesn't solve anything. Crying it only makes things worse. So there's so much connected to this. It's just on top of everything I encountered. It's just like a double whammy to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
It's not just the injustice of how you were treated, but the fact that no one cares how you were treated as well. Um, and unfortunately, that's how government and these kind of organizations look at people. Unless it's themselves or their buddy or something like that. Like if you notice, when a citizen dies, they don't have like a 300 officer, you know, funeral parade. You know what I mean? Like when an officer dies. So we see where their importance lies. Even with the mainstream media, when a famous person dies, it's always famous person and six other people died today. So they'll say who the
yeah,
famous person is, but the other six people, they're just pieces of shit. Nobody even cares about
yeah.
them.
And
So
regarding Florinda David, which was the nurse at the hospital, I was told by another employee what her name was. This is the only reason fact I was actually able to get a hold of her name because I just kept asking everybody, what is everybody's names? Why is no one identifying to me? Why can't they tell me who they are? I've looked up reviews from this hospital, and all of the reviews are bad except for one. You wouldn't guess who that is, huh?
probably
The
somebody
one
really.
review the one review that is really good about this hospital is the therapist commenting on the reviews. It's a really good place to work. It's a really good place to work because you guys are traumatizing these patients. You guys are giving electric convulsive therapy to patients. You guys are giving medications to these patients not knowing if they're allergic or any kind of situation. But I've looked into so much. I've actually contacted another patient that I'm not going to disclose his name at this point, but he saw the pictures, information, and records of what has happened, and he's like, "Holy shit, I believe you, 100%." He's like, "I'm so sorry this happened. This is something." He goes, "We just need to learn how to fight." That shattered me to pieces. That shattered me into 1,000 pieces, as small as you can shatter a glass window, burn it and shatter it some more, because we as patients that are asking for assistance shouldn't have to learn how to fight to be in a hospital seeking assistance. And now these laws that are coming into effect of federally protected employees in hospitals, it's going to be that they are going to be covered. There is no connection. There is no protection for the patients that are inside of those hospitals. There's nothing. There's nothing for us to say, "Hey, this employee was attacking me," on top of the video being tampered with, on top of everything else, that we don't have anything that I'm asking you guys to just help change these laws of these videos being tampered. All of these laws that are not protective of patients, they're protecting the employees and the hospitals, and how crucial and serious it is. If you assault an employee, you're gonna have 10 to 20 years. What about the patients that are inside of the hospitals? What about the families that are inside dealing with this situation? What about you? What about the person that just lost a loved one? I've had over 10 people die in the past 10 years. What about us? It's always protecting the federal employees, when the federal employees are the ones that are most corrupt. What about the patients that are looking for someone to just give a hug to? What about that one person that just didn't sleep last night and is asking for someone to tell them, "How was your day today?" Um, that's pretty much what's going on in this country, and I am really hoping that this can be solved. You know, this is really, really traumatizing for me. I am trying to do my best. Um, but
Well,
they didn't break me. They didn't break me. I will not allow them to break me. And this is something that I told them when I left the hospital. I said, "Remember my face, because you will see me again." And I was not playing with them. I was so serious that, I'm getting it out there. It's slowly. There is tampering with the destructive device is a 10-year statute of limitations. So let's see who else falls out of the tree, because I already got 2 on the hook right now. So I'm hoping that this is good enough to get some people to come forward and
shake
not be
things loose.
scared of the situations that's happened to.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up now, and again, everybody watch it at the end. So I can't.
I'm here.
I can't hear you.
I don't know what happened with the ground.
And I can't hear you. Yeah, there's too much stuff coming through. I can't hear you. I can hear you now, but barely. Yeah, just a little
Oh,
bit.
okay. Yeah,
I
I
can
don't
hear
know
you
what
better
happened. My car turned off. Huh?
now. I can hear you better now. Yeah,
What'd you say?
I can hear you
I don't
better
know what
now. Yeah,
happened. My car turned off.
that's fine. We're
Yeah,
gonna
I
wrap
got
it
you.
up
I can hear you.
anyway. Yep, we're gonna wrap it up anyway, and show the documents here at the end for the people. And then, like I said, if they have any questions, they'll leave it in the comments section or in the live chat section. So, thanks again for spending some time with us today, Gloria. And hopefully this will help shake something loose. and maybe hopefully get you some kind of justice. We'll see.
I would appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We can only hope.
And
That's right.
I'm here for any questions, comments, or anything that anybody might have. I just really want justice to, you know,
Yep.
prosper in the middle of all of this.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, and have a good one.
Thank you. You too.